Good morning, everyone. Boker Tov. If you look at the painting that Rembrandt made of the wrestling match in this week's Torah portion between Jacob and Esav, it doesn't look like a fight. The angel is like smiling down at Jacob. It looks like a loving embrace. And I don't know where Rembrandt got it, but he got it right. Because when the Torah talks about the fight between Jacob and the angel of Esav in this week's Torah portion, it says, Vayeavek ishimo, a man wrestled with him. Now, usually when you say two people wage battle, like with Amalek, it says Vayelachem b'Amalek. They waged war against Amalek. They fought against Amalek. Here it says Vayeavek, a man wrestled with him. And Rashi amazingly says, what does it mean he wrestled? Vayit kasher, he bonded with him. What does that mean? Says the Ramban, Nachmanides, that the next day when Jacob meets his brother Esav, it says Vayichabkeu, he embraced him. And the Ramban says Vayavek is the same letters practically as Vayavek. The wrestling is the same letters as Vayichabek, to embrace. And it's fascinating when you see two people wrestling, you're not sure, are they fighting or are they hugging each other, because their arms are wrapped around each other. And therefore Rashi says it means he connected to him through this wrestling match. And ultimately they make peace the next day and they actually embrace. And that's why the Ramban says Vayavek is the same etymological root of the word Vayichabek. And the message here is that Jacob was alone at night. What does it mean he was alone? He was alone in his thoughts. He was thinking about the encounter that was going to happen the next day with his brother. And thinking, me and my brother have been at war, fighting for over 20 years. How do I resolve this? How do I make peace with my brother? He was yearning and longing to connect, to reconnect with his brother. And therefore he had to do battle with himself first. Because the Talmud says, who is a strong person? One who can turn an enemy into a friend. And therefore he had to think about his relationship with his brother and how much he loved his brother. And bring up his memories of childhood and the fact that they were twins in the same womb. And he said, I want to connect to my brother. I want to bond with him. I want to embrace him. And therefore the wrestling match was also an internal wrestling match, where he had to say to himself, what am I willing to do to make peace with my brother? Rabbi Jonathan Sachs says the next day when he gives him the gift, he says, Kachna et birchati. He doesn't say take my gift, which is mincha. He says take my blessing. Says Rabbi Sachs, he was returning the blessing. He says, I took your blessing. And if the cost and the price of this blessing is that we are at odds with each other, that we haven't spoken in 20 years, take it back. You could have the material blessings. I want peace at all costs. I want to be reconciled with my brother. I love you, my brother. And with that mindset, he was ready to meet his brother the next day. And this is fascinating and so instructive in our lives. Sometimes, unfortunately, we have falling outs. It could be literally with your brother or sister, or it could be with an extended family member, or it could just be a friend. And we have to say, like Jacob, I want to be at peace. I want to connect. I want to embrace. And therefore, we have to do battle with ourselves sometimes. And we have to be willing to compromise and say, what am I willing to give up? The way Jacob did, that the story should end in peace, that brothers should be on the same page again. And this is not just true on a personal level. This is true on a communal level. We can't afford to have rifts and divisions amongst the Jewish people. We have to see the blessing in every person, the good in every person, and connect to them and bond with them and turn the wrestling into an embrace. Turn the Vayavek into Vayichabek. There was a professor once who was once meeting with the Lubavitcher Rabbi, and he said, I've found that human nature is such that even people who look good on the outside, they seem to be good, kind people. If you just scratch the surface, there's lots of negativity and unflattering characteristic traits and negative drives and personalities. And people beneath the surface aren't really as good as they appear on the surface. And the Rebbe said to him, when you walk by a beautiful garden, it's manicured, the grass is beautiful, there are flowers growing. But if you dig a little bit beneath the grass, you see all the filth and the dirty soil and the rocks. And the professor started to smile. He thought the Rebbe was supporting his argument that people beneath the surface aren't as beautiful as they present themselves to be. And he nodded his head in agreement. But then the Rebbe said, but if you dig deeper beyond the soil, you go much, much deeper, you know what you discover? You discover minerals and precious stones and gold and silver and maybe even diamonds and water and oil and all the beautiful, valuable resources. And the Rebbe said, you're right, people aren't always as beautiful on the surface, beneath the surface as they are on the surface. But that's because you're not digging deep enough. Dig deeper and you'll see the good. When we spend time with time alone with ourselves, the way Jacob did, and think about one another, you can find a way to turn the wrestling into vayichabek, into a loving embrace. Have a wonderful day.